Well, hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. Thanks for joining us. And we start tonight with a weather impact alert.
Yeah, we have an early look at the snowpack this year, and so far it's fair to say the results are a bit mixed. The California Department of Water Resources conducted its first snow survey of the season at Phillips Station, measuring 2 feet of snow on the ground, about half of what's average for this time of year. Statewide, the snowpack is about 71% of normal, a big improvement after a slow start in early December. Recent storms help boost those numbers, but officials say it is still early. And the good news is Brendan is here and you're tracking even more snow in the forecast. Huh?
Wow, this is really going to help with those numbers, right?
Yeah, and we needed it after a very lackluster December. Honestly, the week of Christmas last week saved us because we really did not see any snow at all in December. I mean, it was mostly Thule fog and sunshine.
We couldn't get rid of it.
We couldn't get rid of it. And then finally last week we did get rid of it. Let me put these numbers into perspective, though, these snowpack numbers for you, because the change from just the start of last week to this week is pretty stark. So we're going to measure the snowpack against the percent of April 1st average. April 1st is typically peak snowpack in the high country. So we always like to measure, average to date, but also average of April 1st. So take a look at these numbers. Northern Sierra, 2% of that April 1st average as of December 22nd. That was before the snow started falling last week. 4% for the Central Sierra, 9% for the Southern Sierra. Now, as of today, that's 17% of April 1st average in the Northern Sierra, 25% of April 1st average in the Central Sierra, and 31% of April 1st average in the Southern Sierra. When you look at those numbers statewide, it grew by 20% in just a week. We went from 4% on December 22nd to 24% as of today. Yeah, this cannot be the end. We need more snow, and it can't just be the snow that's coming next week. We need multiple storms between now and the end of our, rainy, snowy season. We can't forecast weeks, months out. We can just say that we typically see a lot more snow, and I can tell you that I've got more snow on the 10-day forecast here. Another foggy night, but then rain starts to move in for New Year's, and by the weekend, we're talking about snow once again in the high country. Snow levels will be at the pass level by the time we get to Friday. So we are tracking another atmospheric river. This is going to be a level 2 to level 3 storm. That'd be a moderate to strong atmospheric river, more or less pointing at the Bay Area. So that does mean we're going to see some rain and eventually snow. Right now, 44 in Sacramento, 47 in Stockton and Modesto, 55 in Placerville, 28 in Truckee, 29 South Lake Tahoe, but we've been dealing with that Thule fog all day long, and there's still quite a bit of fog up in the Sacramento Valley. Visibility right now in Marysville is only half a mile. Visibility in Sacramento only 2 miles. And you can see there, the tower cam is in the clouds, 44 degrees, same temperature as yesterday. And even though we have a little bit of a breeze, that fog is still out there, and it will be out there through the evening. It's going to be another foggy and chilly night. Instead of the 30s, though, we'll be in the 40s to start Wednesday. About 43 in Sacramento, 43 Stockton and Modesto. But again, fog back in the valley, 40s and 50s in the foothills. So we look at Wednesday afternoon, the final day of 2025, back in those 40s. 48 in Sacramento, 49 Stockton, 47 in Modesto. But that rain is returning, and unfortunately, it's returning for the latter half of tomorrow. So as we close out 2025 and open up 2026, it's likely to be pretty soggy across Northern California, including in the high country, because snow levels are going to be high. So as we go through the 31st and the 1st and the first few days of January, we're talking about rain. This is January 1st as we look at that atmospheric river tracker. This is a warmer storm coming in, pulling some moisture with it. That's why snow levels are going to be so high. But take a look at this system coming in by the time we get to Friday, Saturday. Still attached to that atmospheric river, but this is a much colder system. That's why we're going to see snow levels dropping as we go Friday into the weekend. Looking at futurecast, this is 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Mainly just clouds, maybe a few showers out near Clear Lake. By the time we get to 6 o'clock, showers starting to overspread the valley. By 9 o'clock, still a lot of showers out there, maybe still fairly scattered. So maybe we can get some of those early fireworks shows in, but by midnight, as we're now into 2026, a lot more shower coverage across the valley and again in the high country too, because snow levels are high. We're going through Thursday now. It may wind down a little bit later in the day on Thursday into early in the day on Friday as we're kind of between that round 1 and round 2. But by the time we get late into Friday and then into Saturday morning, there's that heavier band of rain coming in. Could see a few thunderstorms out of this, especially along the coast, but then those snow levels are really dropping as well through the weekend down towards and below the passes. So over the next 5 days, 1 to 2 inches inches of rain in the valley, 3 to 5 inches more or less of liquid water in the high country. Some of that will fall as rain, some of it obviously snow as well. Snow levels you see there dropping to about 5,000 to 6,000 feet through the weekend. This is noon on Friday. Not much snow, especially around Tahoe. By the time we get Saturday, Sunday, though, now we're starting to talk about widespread totals of 1 to 3 feet. So that's how much snow I'm watching. 1 to 2 inches of valley rain. That weather impact alert from Wednesday evening through Saturday. So a soggy start to the new year is just around the corner. Rain at first for all, and then eventually that snow will start as the colder air moves in on Friday, continuing through the weekend. Old Sacramento, though, those fireworks at 9 o'clock, they're supposed to happen whether it's raining or not.
And we'll be prepared for them. If you are going to be out there, going to brave the elements,
Yep.
make sure you got your rubber boots,
Yep.
the umbrellas,
The rain jacket.
the whole shebang.
All of it. Yep.
The storm door is open, it appears, though, huh?
It is open,
Okay.
to start the year.
All right, be safe out there, huh? And of course, this morning we had fog for the morning commute. Want to show you a look at things today. Just look at that on the left. This was I-80 early this morning, and on the right is Sacramento, where some of that fog did clear out today.
And don't forget, the conversation doesn't end here. To follow more on this weather impact alert and for all your local weather needs, including area conditions and road impacts, watch right here on the ABC10 app. Well, it's hard to believe, but it's nearly time to turn the page to a new year, and Old Sacramento is hosting a New Year's celebration tomorrow.
Brendan was just talking about it. They are preparing for the event today. The free countdown on the cobblestones will have live music, activities, and yes, a fireworks show. As he mentioned, organizers tell us that is rain or dry. They plan to hold the fireworks show. The celebration is from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And New Year's Eve preparations are underway all across the country, including, of course, in Times Square for the ball drop.
Rehearsals are underway, and there's also ramped up security. In New Orleans, there's also a heightened police presence after a deadly terror attack during last year's celebrations. ABC's Rita Roy has the latest.
The countdown to 2026 already underway, and this New Year's Eve celebration in New York's Times Square is expected to be bigger and better than ever.
4 drops, 4 midnight moments. Rita is going to be here with me in Times Square. We love doing this together.
I'm so happy to be back.
Ryan Seacrest hosting New Year's Rockin' Eve with actress and singer Rita Ora across 4 time zones. And today, the famous crystal ball doing a test run. Around the country, security being put to the test, including in New Orleans. National Guard joining police on Bourbon Street, where a car rammed into a crowd during last year's celebrations, killing 14 people. In Times Square, thousands of officers being deployed, including drone and harbor teams, and additional screenings inside the security zone.
The public should expect to see thousands of NYPD officers deployed throughout Times Square. The entirety of the New York City Police Department is going to be working between December 31st and January 1st.
The NYPD expecting hundreds of thousands of people to gather in Times Square tomorrow.
It's fun. People are enjoying a good time, but there is a lot of respect we have for that moment when all eyes are on the ball, and there is this significant moment of unity with everyone.
And looking at the big show by the numbers, we are expecting a really fun one this year. It'll be 8 hours long with 90 songs and 42 performers, including the iconic Diana Ross hitting the stage. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Rena, thank you. Here at home, a woman was found dead inside a home in Orangevale after a gas leak earlier today. Officials say the leak happened on Mountain Avenue, leading to road closures and nearby evacuations. The gas leak has since been shut off and the area is now safe. Evacuated residents have been allowed to go back inside. The cause of death is not known, and investigators say it's too early to say whether anything suspicious was involved. Stay with us for updates.
We know you're inside. We have the house surrounded. Come out now with your hands up.
Let's turn now to Sacramento County. A man was believed to be barricaded inside a home in Del Paso Heights. Police later said they could not locate him in the home. They were called to Jean Avenue around 11 this morning after a reported assault. Investigators say the man may be armed. So far, no injuries have been reported, so stay with us for updates.
New tonight, a public safety alert from the Placer County Sheriff's Office after detectives discovered a hidden camera disguised in bushes outside a home in North Auburn.
Yeah, investigators say the device may have been used to case the property. ABC 10's Nazi Javid has more on what they found and what neighbors should be looking for.
The discovery was made at a home here in North Auburn, where detectives say a hidden camera was tucked in with fake leaves into a bush like this.
The Placer County Sheriff's Office says the camera was powered by an external battery pack, allowing it to stay in place for extended periods of time without being detected.
Our detectives started looking around out in front of the house, and that's ultimately where they located this camera, the cord, the battery pack. And up until this point, these groups we hadn't found evidence of these groups using this type of surveillance at homes in Placer County.
Detectives say the device was found while following up on information from a separate investigation. Investigators say this type of surveillance has been used in other parts of the country by organized theft rings known as South American theft groups.
So they're loosely organized criminal networks, and it is comprised of people from several different countries in South America. There's a group who will come in and case a home, and then there's groups that come in and they commit the robberies.
Detectives say some groups have also used signal jammers to disrupt home security systems.
We do have evidence to show that these groups are jamming signals, which can impact Wi-Fi.
Neighbors say the discovery is prompting people to take a closer look at their own properties.
I want to look around the yard and probably inform the neighbors of what's going on. They're planting cameras.
Richard Wallace says his family lives in multiple homes in this neighborhood.
My relative is elderly and they're quite vulnerable, so it's a big concern.
Over the past several years, Placer County has seen a rise in high-dollar residential burglaries, some resulting in 5- and 6-figure losses, including in communities like Granite Bay, Loomis, and Roseville. We spoke with the HOA president of this North Auburn neighborhood.
It is a little bit concerning, but luckily we are in a small community. I'm hoping we're keeping each other's eyes on each other.
Authorities are urging neighbors to keep a close eye on anything that may look out of place, and if you see something suspicious, they say do not touch it and report it to authorities right away. In Auburn, Nazi Javid, ABC 10.
Yeah, very disturbing. Nazi, thank you. Detectives say they are reviewing the camera to see what footage may have been recorded and whether it's connected to other crimes.
Yeah, they say community awareness is key to preventing these burglaries.
Coming up, debates over a proposed wealth tax on California billionaires is growing, and there's already some reports of billionaires leaving the state to avoid the tax. We bring you the latest.
And later, a closer look at the new Constellation Ball for the New Year's countdown. In state matters, the debate over a proposed wealth tax on California billionaires is growing amid reports some billionaires have already moved out of the state to avoid that additional tax.
ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Hutt joins us now with the latest developments. Jenny.
That exodus is exactly what opponents feared. SEIU UHW, the group behind it, will start collecting signatures by the end of this week. Just under 875,000 needed to get the initiative onto the November 2026 ballot.
As an advisor to people who are the target, I can tell them they are leaving, have left already.
David Lesperance is an advisor to ultra-high net worth clients, including those in the Silicon Valley and throughout California. He says with the threat of the proposed one-time 5% wealth tax on California's 200-plus billionaires, 4 of his clients are already on their way out of state.
California playing with matches here. They are getting themselves fire insurance and a fire escape plan.
Suzanne Jimenez and the healthcare group SEIU UHW are behind the push and say their initiative would raise $100 billion to make up for federal cuts on healthcare under the Big Beautiful Bill. We followed up with Jimenez, who said last month there's no incentive to leave as the tax is retroactive, meaning billionaires must still pay if they're California residents as of January 1st, 2026.
So those were the very threats you kind of said you weren't concerned about that wouldn't actually happen, but we're seeing predictions it could happen.
We still stand firm in that there's always these chicken little arguments that when tax policies like this are, proposed, that you're going to see this big flight of, in this case, ultra wealthy people. But real world experiences show us that that's not the case.
Conversations heated up after Congressman Ro Khanna, a Democrat representing parts of the Silicon Valley, publicly stated his support. Khanna responding to reports PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel could leave. Quote, I echo what FDR said with sarcasm of economic royalists when they threatened to leave. I will miss them very much.
In California, we have some of the highest taxes in the nation.
Opponents argue California's tax system is already progressive. The more you make, the more you pay. And so the state budget is highly dependent on the top 1% of income earners.
California voters, I think, are smart enough not to kill the goose that's laying the golden egg.
When asked about the initiative, Nathan Click, campaign manager for Governor Gavin Newsom, tells us in part, quote, it's yet another special interest attempt to grab money for special purposes at the expense of the future general fund. It's bad public policy.
Jimenez says her group will be announcing local, state, and federal endorsements in early 2026. Jenny Huh, ABC 10.
All right, Jenny, thank you. With the new year comes new California state laws. Tonight at 6:30, ABC 10's To The Point teams breaking down some of the biggest changes, from plastic bag bans to new immigration rules and changes at public schools. What you need to know heading into the new year. Don't miss New Year, New Laws, a To The Point special tonight at 6:30 and streaming now on the ABC 10 app.
Well, next at 5:30, an old Sacramento staple more than 100 years in the making is closing. Find out why next. Well, heads up, California Highway Patrol is launching the New Year's holiday enforcement period with extra patrols statewide. It runs from 6 p.m. tomorrow through 11:59 p.m. New Year's Day. CHP says New Year's Eve remains one of the deadliest times on the road. During the holiday enforcement period last year, for example, 10 people were killed in crashes statewide, and officers made nearly 500 DUI arrests. During the Christmas enforcement period, officers made 297 DUI arrests in just 2 days. CHP is urging drivers to plan ahead before celebrating, choose a sober driver, use a ride share or public transportation, and never get behind the wheel impaired.
After 128 years, an old Sacramento staple is shutting its doors. Scallett Family Jewelers will close tomorrow at 6 p.m. The current owner, Howard Scallett, has announced his retirement, saying now is the right time.
Old Sac's been great to us. We've been here for almost 35 years, and the last 5 years have been extraordinary after COVID, and it's just a perfect time to go out on top and retire.
About 50 years ago, he became the fourth generation to join his family's store. And after more than 43 years, he says he is ready to go into his next chapter. The store has closing sales up to 80% off.
The New Year's Eve Times Square globe has dropped. But don't worry, it's just a test. We have a closer look at the new Constellation Ball next. Coming up new tonight at 6, the clock is ticking down on 2025, but you still have time to take care of your health before the new year. A family physician is helping cross off that year-end checklist coming up tonight on the news at 6. Yeah, the new year is upon us. Can you believe it?
Where did the time go?
I know. And in New York City, the countdown is on. You know, we've been talking about the fact that they have this new ball. It's supposed to be like a constellation ball, they're told. Now, so I was reading about it. And so apparently it has all of these Waterford crystals and LED lights. And I feel like they do a new ball almost every year now.
Yes, they do. And I will share many moons ago, many calendar pages ago, I had a bucket list opportunity to do the Times Square. New Year's, we were right in the thick of it. I don't remember who was hosting at the time. It might have been before Ryan Seacrest. That's how long ago this was. But we were right there in the thick of it. And it was so safe and so fun. Kudos to NYPD and all the families and tourists out there. I was one of them.
I have to
Very
ask
cool.
you though, I hear it's like really cold during that time and you have to get there really early.
Yes.
And you're like packed in, so you like bring your own snacks and that type of stuff.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I know people do drastic measures of wearing diapers and stuff like that, but we did not do that. I think the energy just kept us warm. Yeah, the energy just kept us all warm. Everyone was there. It was not really that cold, but I highly recommend it.
Cool.
Highly recommend it.
And here's that ball I was telling you about, right? So it's the Constellation Ball at Times Square. It includes more than 5,200 waterford crystals and LED lights. This year's drop will include an America 250 design to celebrate the country's 250th anniversary next year. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to ring in the new year, with millions across the globe watching online, or of course where I will be watching on TV.
I'll be right there with you. We'll be here for the newscast earlier, and then maybe cheers with us.
Right. Watch us anytime right here on the ABC10 app.